round 4 of the HQ Holden Championship in New South Wales here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Taking pole position was Brett Osborne by 1.8 seconds. We caught up with the reigning champ just after qualifying.
So we're here at Sydney Motorsport Park today, qualified in the HQ Holdens this morning. I was fortunate enough to put it on pole. Conditions were wet. Track stayed wet the whole session, didn't really dry up like we sort of thought there might have been a dry line, but it stayed wet. I was fortunate enough to get a few good laps in and managed to put it in pole in front of Glendeering in P2 and Jared Harbour in P3. So I need to thank my sponsors, Osborne's Transport, MIA, CR International, SC Racing. They gave me a rocket this weekend, as they always do, so I really appreciate that. All the competitors have come out. It's really great to see everyone here. Looking forward to a great race just before lunch, and then we got 2 races this afternoon and one's a night race, so that'll be a good experience as well. Car felt pretty consistent throughout the session. Obviously being wet, it was pretty slippery the whole time. They don't have a lot of grip in the wet, but as far as the HQ in the wet, it was quite good. We went out on our dry tyres. We didn't have wets on. I think most of the guys were on dryers, we managed to find some grip and get a couple of solid laps in, so that was a positive for us. At the moment, there's no rain forecast sort of for the next couple of hours, I don't think. So if it stays like this, hopefully the track dries out for the 3 races. That said, it could come over and it could be a few showers, so we don't really know what to expect for the 3 races today. We'll just have to play it by ear and see what the day brings.
All right, cars are on the grid. We are set for a start. Lights out. We are underway. Brilliant start from Brett Osborne, but the man alongside of him has bogged down, or is there a bit of an issue there between the change from first to second gear? That is Glendeering plummeting down the field after a great qualifying position. Let's let Brett Osborne off the hook down towards turn number 1. The 202 holding second place. That's Jared Barber, just ahead of Luke Harrington, who's in a very strong run of form. Is the number 17 as they swing it through turn number 3, the right-hander, before going up and over the crest, over the tunnel to enter the circuit and back down the other side. Through they go. Look at Osborne's lead, the Osborne Transport's sponsored machine. Of course, we've got to thank Osborne Transport. Without them, these images would not be possible. Down towards turn number 5, looking up the inside. It's still a little bit damp off the racing line. There's a bit of rain earlier on today, but on the racing line, looks pretty dry. Huge lockup further back down the field, but Osborne continues to pull away from those 2 behind of Jared Harbour and Luke Harrison. To this tricky section, the final couple of corners. Brilliant field of HQ Holdens here this weekend at Sydney Motorsport Park. Over 20 HQ Holdens. Who says that HQ Holdens aren't as strong as they've ever been? It's absolutely fantastic to see. But here we go, up the inside, the number 17. Harrison pulls to the inside, but Harbour closes the door, slamming it in his face. But he's not going to take that lightly. Late on the brakes up the inside. No, not quite able. Oh, he's just squeezed a little bit of room, just a HQ's width worth of room up the inside. Is he going to hold it though? Now he's on the outside for turn number 3. This is great racing to kick things off in the HQs here at SMSP, through the ultra-fast turn number 4 and then the flick left into turn 5. Track limits is often an issue here as they run it out wide over the curb, but both of them obeying the limits there on this particular occasion. All of this fighting though, this wheel-to-wheel dueling, is allowing Osborne to pull away into the final section of the course. We can see Osborne's lead now is a good couple of seconds. And look behind as well, John Baxter's not too far back. Similar livery to that of Brett Osborne. But it is not as they come onto the pit straight. This is a lovely run from Harrison. He's got the inside line. That's the furthest ahead he's been. He's going to brake or just roll off that a little bit later, and he will take up the running, but he's got to be careful not to run wide because that'll open the door for the crisscross. Down at turn 2, he's wise to that. He goes on the defensive, and that will force Harbour to relinquish that position. No way around the outside at the turn 2 hairpin. Great racing though between those two. Good, clean, fair racing. Further back down the field, there is plenty of action. Look at this there, about 6 nose to tail. Looking at Adam Leach there, it looks like he's going to be overtaken. Is he? Very close anyway. Up the inside was the number 47 of Gordon McLeay, having a big look up the inside. There's the number 80 of Mark Baxter. Great to have a couple of Queenslanders here this weekend, and there's a couple in that battle that we are looking at. And number 33, Kurt Porter, is one of those from Queensland, and a bit of a mistake there from the leader in the pack. It's late on the brakes into the 90-degree right-hander. Number 80 moves on by. Great pass there from Mark Baxter. Racing continues to be fierce in this mid-pack. We've seen it throughout this race, and it still continues to be the case. This is for positions outside the top 10. It just shows how good HQ Racing is in New South Wales. Of course, the reigning Nationals champion is leading this race at the moment, Brett Osborne. You got 2x2 up the 4 of the picture and further back as well. But up at the front, 888, the Chad emblazed on the side of the car. That's Gaundry moving through, Daniel Gaundry. Moving past one of the Queensland visitors I was talking about just before in Kurt Porter, but Porter's going to respond. Great stuff. Back up the inside, taking it to the locals. Really, really good to see. Looking left, looking right. He's got good run down the hill, but he's got to look in the mirror at Adam Leach as well in the lovely pale blue number 8 machine. This is a great overtaking opportunity. Turn number 6. He used to have a bit of a right kink in it, but since it was renamed and reprofiled, it's now a great overtaking opportunity. 90-degree left-hander up the inside there for Kurt Porter. That's actually affected his run on the exit of the corner there. That did cost him quite a bit of ground. Lovely pass once again. So that's a further demotion from Porter. This time demoted by Mark Baxter. They're side by side, right at the tail for position number 20. It's a good, strong showing at the moment here from Mark Baxter. Oh, and there's contact between those two. I was just talking about the number 25 has ended up facing backwards. That is Lee Lovering. That's a real shame. He will fall to the very tail of the field with that one. As the checkered flag falls for Brett Osborne, a dominant display as those two behind for Hammer and Tongs. It's going to be a drag race further back though as they come across the line. Very, very tight there between both of the Baxters, and there are the results for us. Osborne from Luke Harrison, Jared Harbour, John Baxter, Proglio and Mark Barker, Seth Matthew, Darren Parker, Warren Truen and Jason Johnston rounding out the top 10 in what was a thrilling race up and down the field. But no doubt about the winner, Brett Osborne in the Osborne Transport machine. Osborne Transport's HQ Holden's about to get underway for their second race of the weekend. It's an even jump on the front row of the grid, but it looks like Osborne has just about got his nose ahead through turn number 1. Harrison going with him. Look at the margin Behind that, looks to me like that is Baxter that's moved his way up into position number 3. Harbour, the yellow machine, finished third in race number 1, has already dropped back to position number 6, although he looks like he'll just get 5th back from the number 77 of Matt Barker in another Osborne Transport sponsored machine, but they're too wide over the brow of the hill, further back down the field, as we've come to expect and love in HQ Holdens. Through the middle sector they go on lap number 1 of the race. Running out wide, look at them side by side, 2 wide, nearly 3 wide down there at turn number 5. But further forward they are nose to tail, or a bit of a slide there for the driver in position number 3. Pretty sure that was John Baxter there, cranking it sideways, and he has lost a little bit of ground to those 2 ahead. And that's Proglio, David Proglio. Didn't speak about him much in race number 1, but he finished nice and solid in position number 5. That's the white HQ Holden towards the front of the field. As they go 2 by 2, just about sorting themselves out. This is the battle pack, just a bit behind, so just behind Proglio, sort of 7th down to 10th position. Got a good group of competitors here. Whoa, we've got one just pulling off to the side of the circuit. I think there's some sort of mechanical drama there. Is that the number 7, I think, of Warren Trewin? That's a real shame for Trewin. His race coming to an early end on pit straight. Further forward, Harbour, after his challenging, difficult start, is trying to make back positions. Top 3 are pulling away, but he has the white machine of Proglio and the 7 of Matt Barker in his sights. He's not going to want to let them get away at all. In fact, Barker might even have a go here on Proglio. No, not quite able to do so. Down at turn number 5, wasn't quite close enough, but he's forced the white machine into an error there. The MHA European car machine running a bit wide. And again, at the hairpin running wide as well. He'll get a good bit of momentum out of the corner there, but that was a bit of a mistake again. And that, he hasn't got the run I thought he might. So up the inside comes Barker, and Barker makes it through. Almost identical livery, Baxter and Barker, but yeah, it's the Barker machine moving up into position number 4, and the 3rd position finisher in race number 1. Harbour will be wanting to do the same in very short succession. Here we go, we're looking 2 wide, nearly 3 wide further back. It's the 26 at the moment of Darren Parker that leads the way in that duel. But up the inside comes car number 4, Glenn Deering, who started on the front row of the grid. Let's not forget in race number 1, but finished way back in 18th position. So great to see Glenn Deering coming back through the field in the C&B engine-sponsored car, back to where he should be. Clearly some sort of mechanical issue throughout race number 1, but he finished. He got some points, and now he is once again on the attack. Glenn Deering, the man on a charge here. Race number 2 at Sydney Motorsport Park in the Osborne Transport New South Wales HQ Holdens. As the number 30 ranging in, that's Pedro Muswick ranging in on the tail of the 26, and he has a big look down at the hairpin. There's the Trewin car off to the left-hand side, so his race has come to an early end, as we saw. He's not been able to bring that back to the pits. His race ending there and then. Further back down the field, the fighting continues. This was the great battle that we were looking at throughout race number 1. This time, though, the 25 of Lee Lovering has joined the party after a spin for him, of course, an incident down there at turn 2 in the opening encounter. He's moving back forward through the field as well, back to where he wants to be. There he is on the screen at the moment in the Lovering Motorsport HQ. Down to the 90-degree left-hander. Up the inside, there's been room left. That's great stuff. Porter just slotting up the inside. But is he going to have the run, the momentum through Corporate Hill on this occasion? They remain side by side, but now he's on the outside the long way, and he might end up losing places rather than gaining them, but he's still holding it around the outside. Great stuff. He's certainly done it the hard way, hasn't he, in this one? This maneuver has been going on for about half a lap, but he is now up the inside of Gaudry, although he's locked it up, having to use all the curb and more on the inside, and that's going to affect his momentum, and Gaudry has been able to close the door. So after all that work, just a slight error at the penultimate corner, a bit of a lockup, and his momentum was killed. The 25 now coming under pressure from Lovering, who is behind him. I think that's number 5 of Jake Deering. I do believe it is. So the Deerings are swarming around at the moment. As up the inside, he's turned defense into attack, and there's a bit of contact up the inside there from the number 25, up the inside of 33. So Lovering up the inside on Porter, and there was a bit of contact, a bit of argy-bargy, but play on, says the referee, as they go over the brow of the hill. This is good, hard HQ racing. This is why people fell in love with this category in the late 80s and the early 90s, of course, for many years, racing around the Thunderdome at Calder Park. This is good, old-fashioned HQ racing. Brings a smile to my face just to call this. This is fantastic stuff. Down to turn number 6. They're exchanging positions every single corner here at the moment. This is now the number 8 car coming back up the inside of Adam Leach. This is fantastic stuff. Further back down the field, but up the front it's on as well. The top 2 have pulled absolutely miles clear of the field. But this time, Brett Osborne is being challenged by Luke Harrison. All the wins have been split by these two so far this season. Brett Osborne dominated round 1, winning all 3 races. He has won 4 so far this season. Meanwhile, Harrison has won the last 5 in a row, including a clean sweep here at Sydney Motorsport Park last time out. So certainly momentum is very much in the favour of Harrison at the moment. Of course, with Osborne's win earlier on today, it is 5 wins apiece between these two so far this season. 10 races down. If you want a titanic tussle in New South Wales HQs, you have it this year. As they go around Corporate Hill and into the hairpin, Harrison applying the blowtorch, looking left, looking right. Where can he make his way through? We can see it's pretty windy, pretty big crosswind at Sydney here today. And there's a fight on for 3rd as well. Looks like that's Harbour, Baxter, Proglio. Really good stuff from those guys as well. Here we go around the final corner. Harrison looking for a good slipstream. He's got it. He has got it. But the checkered flag's at the ready. Is he going to run out of time? It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. But no, Osborne is going to hold on by the skin of his teeth. A brilliant, brilliant race between those two. And what about for position number 2? It's 2 more Osborne cars. It's going to be coming across the line. Baxter from Barker and Jared Haber forced to settle for 5th position. Seth Mackey, Glenn Deering, great recovery from him from P18 in the previous race. P19 even to finish in 7th. Head of David Proglio, Darren Parker and Jason Johnston. We're going night racing here in the Osborne Transports New South Wales HQ Holdens. They fan out further back. I think a bit of a slow starter. They're forcing everybody to take evasive action. But up the front, it looks like Osborne has got a nose ahead of Harrison and will lead them through turn 1. side by side though for position number 2 between the John Baxter and Matt Barker Osborne Transport cars, and they remain side by side through the turn 2 hairpin as well. Good stuff between those two as they finally sort themselves out, and it's gone the way of the number 51. So John Baxter just about holding on to position number 3. But out in front, the top 2 remain as they were in the previous race. Of course, Osborne beat Luke Harrison by just a 1/10 of a second. Will battle recommence here in the final race of the weekend for the HQs. Oh, big lockup. That's the number 45 machine running a bit wide. That's Seth Matthey. Haven't seen too much of him. He's just stayed out of trouble, collected the points throughout the weekend. It's been a really good weekend for Matthey, always in and around the top 5 throughout the weekend. Lots of Osborne Transport cars up the pointy end of the field, 3 of the top 4. But behind Matthey, who is in 5th, is Glenn Deering, who, as we said in race number 2, he started from the front row of the grid, had a really tardy start, mechanical problem in race 1, finished in 19th, and it's been a recovery drive from there. And it looks like he's about to move into the top 5 positions. Great stuff from Glenn Deering. He has done so. Great run down pit straight and slides into a top 5 position once again. Great stuff from the C&B engine sponsor machine, and the engine there really showing its horsepower on pit straight. The 45 is now looking in the mirrors once again because he has Proglio directly behind him. Proglio dropping back a little bit in race number 2 after finishing strongly in race 1, finished 8th in the last one, so he's trying to move forward back in towards a top 5 position for a very consistent title challenger this year in Proglio. It's been a fascinating start to the season. Yes, we've had 2 dominant victors in terms of race wins, but both Osborne and Harrison have missed a round, so consistency could pay dividends for those competing in all of the rounds this season. Of course, the penultimate round of the New South Wales HQ Championship for season 2025 as they're side by side on pit straight around the outside. Thank you very much, says Jason Johnston. A great pass, fantastic move, and he even feels, oh, he did just about cover it off. I thought he was going to leave the door potentially open there for Pedro to come back up the inside, but Pedro electing not to do so. And in fact, just dropped a couple of wheels off on the outside of the circuit. A long race, this one. The other races have been around about 20 minutes in length. This one, an extra 5 minutes. It's a long one, 25 minutes in duration. It's almost like a HQ Enduro, and that's a big lockup. All the hard work has come undone for Jason Johnston. That great move around the outside at turn 1 comes to potentially no avail. He has lost that place. That's a shame for him, but he'll reset, he'll regroup, and he will come back at number 30 of Pedro Masuik. Though he's coming under pressure here already from the car directly behind him. That's Darren Parker, who's looking comfortable out there at the moment inside the top 10. Great presented machine. It doesn't look quite so good when it's going sideways towards the grass, but he does just about hold on. Here we go for the lead. Up the inside comes Harrison. Oh, they're so close. They must be rubbing, exchanging paint down there through turn number 1. But Harrison has held the inside. He's later on the brakes down through the 3-speed gearbox, and he takes up the running. Great pass from Harrison. Boy, oh boy, is this a good championship this year. Harrison moves on through. He leads the race for the first time. Osborne in position number 2. And they've not been able to pull away from those behind, have they? They are still there, waiting in the wings, just trying to keep on top of these top two. And the more the top two fight, the closer they will be able to get. It's been all about those two up the front throughout the weekend so far, but great to see other drivers really pushing them in this one as they go through Corporate Hill. There towards turn 2, Osborne's coming under pressure, and in fact, I think he might lose out to his teammate as Baxter comes up the inside. Did not see this coming at the start of the race. And look, Deering as well is attacking. Brilliant performance from Deering in this race. Again, he finished in position number 7, and it's been all about moving forwards, and moving forward he has continued to do. We can see a potential top 3 finish just there, literally on the horizon as they come over the brow of the hill towards turn number 6. Out in front though, Harrison's enjoying this fight behind because he is pulling clear. He's a good 5 or 6 car lengths clear now. Into the hairpin they come. Very, very close between Osborne and the man directly behind Deering, who's coming on so very, very strongly. His HQ Holdens look absolutely immaculate under the lights here at Sydney Motorsport Park as Deering has got a nice run out of the final corner, but so has Osborne. Here comes Osborne. He's going to retaliate back up the inside, I feel, of the number 51. They're side by side. Baxter leaves him a lot of room. Very clean race in between the teammates, but here comes Deering. I think they were too kind to each other, and they've allowed the number 4 to split them down the middle. What a pass, but he's run a bit wide, and back up the inside comes Osborne. Deering took advantage of the two teammates costing each other time. He split them down the middle. Yes, he's locked up, but I think he's going to hold on. Absolutely brilliant stuff from John Deering, but he hasn't quite got the momentum down the hill, and Osborne's able to come back around the outside at turn number 4 and reclaimed second position. But the big loser in all of that exchange was Baxter. He's gone from second to position number 4. For how long? As Osborne back on the defensive. Through turn 6, he's run a little bit wide, but Corporate Hill not really an overtaking opportunity unless you've got your full car up the inside, but even then you will be on the outside for the hairpin. This is amazing stuff, it really is. Osborne from Deering, and they've slightly gapped Baxter there in the middle sector, haven't they? Just a couple of car lengths. Baxter didn't quite hook up Corporate Hill and the hairpin and has lost a bit of ground. Further back, the fight resumes between this group of cars as up the inside. Once again comes Johnston. He went around the outside at turn 1 last time. That one nice and easy for him, up the inside down there on this particular occasion. Of course, he made that mistake at turn 6 earlier on, which cost him crucial ground, and he lost that position to Masick, but he's got back through, back ahead, as there's a fight on behind. I think that's Trewin. It is Trewin, who of course was a DNF, an unfortunate DNF in race number 2. He's coming back into it here. So from the very tail of the field, from 21st on the grid, he now finds himself fighting for a top 10 position. And he's forced Darren Parker, into a little bit of a mistake there, running wide at the penultimate corner. Can Trewin get the run as a result? He certainly can. Lights ablaze on his HQ. Down pit straight, trying to get the side draft. Of course, we saw some famous finishes here at Sydney Motorsport Park earlier on in the year, most notably, of course, Cam Waters and the 2 888 cars, and that was reminiscent there as they came across the line, but through goes Trewin up inside the top 10 now. This is a barnstorming race for him from the very tail of the field. Still got those usual colours on the side of his machine, and oh no, another mistake after all the hard work. Another little error from Johnston. He's got the inside there if he can hold it through the right-hander. Yes, he does. Flames coming out the side of the exhaust. Oh, no. I think he's lost momentum there. Couldn't quite find a gear. And through again comes Masuik. Looks to me certainly like Johnston's got the superior pace, but a couple of errors are allowing those around him to vibe back into the fight as they come across the line. He's got good straight line speed though, and he reclaims the place down into turn 1. Truan having a look up the inside. That was tight. I thought he was sticking his nose in there, but he thought better of it. That has cost him momentum though, but he's not going to be attacked by the number 26. In fact, he's going to turn defense into attack, go around the outside at turn number 2. Marisic is not going to be enjoying this race. He's been overtaken now around the outside at turn 1 and at turn 2. Well, what can we say? Out in front, Harrison is coming back under pressure a little bit from Osborne. But I think it's very much a case of too little, too late. Harrison is going to come across the line to greet the checkered flag and take victory in the final. Brett Osborne comes across the line, and with 2 wins, he will take the round honours. 3rd place, my driver of the race. I think once again, Glenn Deering coming through to finish 3rd, although Truan from the very tail of the field is now at the head of this quartet. I think maybe he is up for driver of the race. It's going to be a drag race though, with a slipstream behind for Johnston. Is he going to pinch it at the line? I don't think he is, but they're side by side further behind. The 26 has taken it off Morisic, so 26 of Darren Parker stealing it there right at the very death. Brilliant stuff. So it's Luke Harrison from Brett Osborne in the end there. Glenn Deering, John Baxter, Matt Barker, Seth Matthew, Proglio, Truan, Johnston and Parker.
So we just finished the day here at Sydney Motorsport Park, day-night event for us. I managed to get pole this morning, 2 wins, and then that final race through the trophy race, I come home in 2nd. Luke Harrison got in front of me, and I just couldn't quite catch him, couldn't get him back. Glenn Deering had a really strong race that one, as did Johnny Baxter. Really fast race, really strong field. Very, very proud to finish 2nd in that.
Yeah, just here at Sydney Motorsport Park this weekend for the round 4, I think, of HQ New South Wales Championship. Day-night race. Do it every year. We love it. Had a good day actually. Qualified 4th. First race, I think we got 2nd, and then second race got 2nd, and then in that last race tonight under lights we managed to get in first place in lap 4, I think it was, and just kept that position to the end. Awesome racing with Bretto every weekend. Love racing door to door to him. Same with Jared, Matty Barker, Progs, everyone else. And big thanks to the HQ committee for keeping us going every round. And so that's about it.